nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll all we have, we'll defend our...
Yes, we believe in this nation, and we believe that we'll get better someday. That's the lyrics of that song from Timi Dakolo, Great Nation. Good morning and welcome to the program, State of the Nation, our political program on Lagoon Radio. And we are your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. We are transmitting live from the Diocese Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. It's a new month. Yes, the first day of the month of July 2021. It's 9 minutes gone past the hour of 10. Yes, from now till 11 a.m. We'll be updating you on the latest happenings in Nigeria. And yes, our guest is humbly seated this morning. But remember, you can download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and on Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. You can listen to us again directly via the link www.lagoonradio.ng. You can watch us live. Yes, on Facebook, of course, we are live. If you want to watch us, if you want to hear this voice, if you want to see those faces, yes, go to Facebook on Lagoon Radio Nigeria on Facebook. You can watch us live. And yes, this morning we'll have Adebola Solomon on the program. Yes, Adebola, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, and yeah, it's no longer news. The headlines that I've made today, and the biggest story in Nigeria from Monday till now is the rearrest of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, he was arrested. He was arraigned, and the case adjourned to 26th July. Yes. And this morning, our topic will be centered on the race for 2023 elections. Yes, the race for 2023 elections. Okay, before we talk about the race, let's first of all assess the present government. It's 6 years down the line, Solomon, 6 years down the line of this APC-led administration. Humbly, Mr. President, the Muhammadu Buhari. Yes. Now, we are also talking about 2023. The race have started. It's no longer news. But before we dive into that, how would you assess? Let's start from the executive. How would you assess the general performance? Because in 2 years' time, they will be handing over. So before that 2 years, for the 6 years, how would you assess that based on the promises and the acclaimed achievements they have made?
Below average.
Below average. Okay, the president last week said that they have lifted about 10 million youths from poverty through social welfare programs and the rest of them. And we heard that Nigeria is still the capital of poverty. So, side by side, how would you?
They lifted 10 million youth from poverty. From which region of Nigeria?
I don't know. They said 10 million.
That should be the basis of the question we need to ask them. Is it from the southern part, the eastern, the western, or the northern part? This thing is being diversified to the north alone. So it is not circulating. We see many crimes and all sorts of atrocities going on in the south, in the east, and in the west. And even in the north. So who are they lifting?
Okay, again, the president said, he mentioned something yesterday, and we just discussed it on the newspaper review. He said that ethnicity and religion is not our problem, but the people. And when he talk about the people, it means all of us. And is he part of the problem?
Well, I would say ethnicity, religion, and the people are the problem of this country.
Okay.
Because we all know in terms of religion aspect how biased we are in this nation. And in terms of ethnicity, we know how biased we are also. Even as an individual and as a people of this nation, we know how biased we are to each other. So the three are working together as one.
Okay. again, let's leave the presidency a bit now and move to the legislature. One of the strongest arm of the government. If you hear the senator speak, they say that we now have a responsible House of Assembly. But on the other side,
Please put that responsible in quotes.
yes, they say, like, I've listened to many of them. They say that we now have a responsible House of Assembly. But on the other side, you will hear that we have a rubber stamp assembly. So, from your own perspective, from the side of the senators, the legislatures, and from the side of some of the oppositions, yes, which one will you go for? The responsible House or the rubber stamp assembly?
Is the rubber stamp assembly? Because we all know during the former Senate President tenure, we know this man stood his ground on so many issues relating to what the presidency will send to the House of Assembly. But this current Senate leader, whatever the presidency wants, it is what they will accept. So it's in all aspects, they stand as rubber stamp assembly. They are not standing their own ground as a legislator to checkmate the presidency and the executive and every other things, but they are just following what the presidency wants.
Okay, when you talk about following what the presidency wants, and you look at it, you look at the other side. There have been a lot of. They said when the house was inaugurated, the Senate President, Honorable Lawan, he said that when people were raising eyebrows about the state of loans, he said that whatever comes from the presidency, it is going to be approved. And after the inauguration of the Lagos-Ibadan railway, they said is a true testament of that statement that indeed that the loans they have taken, that they have worked on it. Now, looking at executive and legislature combined, how money will you say that we are moving on the right path in terms of that?
I am not sure we are moving on the right path in terms of that statement by the Senate President. You are meant to checkmate the executive,
okay,
not to follow whatever the presidency is telling you. Whatever that is being passed down from the presidency to the legislature, you are meant to check it thoroughly before accepting or rejecting it. But in our own case here, whatever is being sent from the presidency is what they will accept. I'm not even sure if they even have the time to work on it or check it. Talking about the rail from Lagos to Ibadan, do you know the rail from Lagos to Ibadan had a break during, I think, was it last week? The one going to Abuja to Kaduna Road. So, which bandit attacked them on the spot? So, what has they done with the money or the loan, whatever they are collecting? I think I heard about they are still going for another loan.
Yes.
So, what as the loan they are collecting or borrowing from other nations? Does it have any impact in this nation? I'm not sure.
Okay, and before we go on this break, let's also look at, but generally, when you assess this government, a lot of promises and the rest of them, fighting corruption and the rest of them, and how would you rate them from maybe the scale of 1 to 100? How will you rate the general performance of this APC government for the past 6 years?
40.
Why 40?
Because their campaign promises, they claim they are fighting corruption, but I see this government as the most corrupt government in terms of Nigerian history. They came with everything will be different from the past 16 years of the previous government, but everything is getting worse in terms of just 6 years of their own government. All the campaign promises they made, I am not sure they have done anything less than 40% of it. So I rate them 40.
Okay. We'll go on this short break. When we come back, we will focus more on the 2023, the INEC registration and the wave of defections from the opposition to the ruling party. Keep listening to us. It's all about State of the Nation on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Communion Diocese of Lagos. We'll be right back.
We believe.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Yes, I will believe in Nigeria. I don't know if you still believe in Nigeria with me. A lot of people are saying that they no longer believe in Nigeria. And like I made a statement last week when a prayer was called in a church to pray for Nigeria. One person said, "Benny, I'm tired of praying for Nigeria." So we still believe in Nigeria. God will touch our leaders. Yes. It's the State of the Nation on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. Of course, we are transmitting live from the Resistance Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. And we are talking about the race for 2023 elections. Adebola Solomon is still our guest. He is still here. Download our app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, Twitter is on suspension. Yes, Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. We are live on Facebook. Yes, Lagoon Radio Nigeria. Listen to us directly via the link www.lagoonradio.ng. And also, yes, visit our website for more news and other informations. www.lagoon.news. Yes, having said all this before, Solomon, let's look at it's like the INEC, they are proactive. Okay, let's assess INEC in the past few years, especially in the last election, in the last general elections. A lot of people said that our elections are still not to the standard we expect. Looking at the past election and what we are seeing now, it's like they are trying to make some errors. Do you believe that? Do you still have faith in INEC to conduct a free and fair election in Nigeria?
Well, I still have faith in them if they are doing it without any interference from the government. If they are independent as their name is being. So I think I still have faith in them. Being independent, not being controlled or monitored by the government. You know, in some cases there recently, I think some members of the cabinet of this current government have been appointed to be an INEC official. So they are being monitored and controlled by the government. If they are independent as their name implies, I think I have some faith in them.
Yes, talking about some members of the cabinet, yesterday there was a protest by the PDP about Loretta Onoche's nomination as INEC commissioner. And like we said, the independent in quotes. If Loretta Onoche, a spokesperson of the president, can be appointed into the INEC commission. So what are we expecting in 2023?
Nothing. We are expecting the same result we had in 2019.
Okay. Are you part of those that were saying that 2019 not was not perfect as an election?
It wasn't an election for me. It was an imposition for me. This government imposed themselves on us. So it's a different thing when you vote and your vote is counted. But when you know you voted and they have their own way of doing things, it's a different thing entirely. You bring in your spokesperson into an independent body.
Umpire.
To do what? To make a plan for you, or to make a way for you, or to do what exactly? So it doesn't speak well from my own end, having your spokesperson in INEC.
Okay, after the 2019 general elections, we've had election in some states. We had Kogi, we had Benue. Kogi, we had Edo State and Ondo State. And looking at the three elections after the 2019 and the agitations and complaints, do you think that INEC fared better in these three states?
Well, I think they did much better in Ondo State and Ondo and Edo State.
Okay.
Precisely. Because from the agitation of the people in Ondo State, I think they want the current governor to continue. Though he has his own lapses also. But in terms of development and other things, I think they want him to continue. Same thing happened in Edo State. They want the current governor to continue. I think they did a bit much better than 2019 election.
Okay, now there is an exercise nationwide, the voter registration and the rest of them. And now there is a portal. Even you can register from anywhere. Is that a step in the right direction
It's a welcome development, but the challenge I have with them is, even after finishing your registration, you will still need to go to their office to do the other things.
Oh, you will still go to... Okay, educate us on that, because a lot of us are still...
It's still a long process.
Okay.
It's the same thing I did in 2017 or 2016 with the national ID card of a thing. I did my registration online. I still have to go to their office to do capturing and thumb printing. We can do that ourselves. But for me, it's still a welcome development. Maybe in some years going forward, things might be different.
Okay, and looking at the composition of INEC, there have been a lot of fears. Some people have raised eyebrows that the present government, they are not ready to hand over power in 2023. As a Democrat and someone who believes in democracy, do you believe in that contest?
Do the government believe in democracy in the first place? This current government.
Okay.
Are they operating democracy? Are they operating rule of law? See, from all indication, we know that this current government is not even willing to leave power in 2023 to anybody. From what happened during the NSAS to what happened when the president was saying he thought the NSAS was to remove him from power. So it shows that they are not ready to leave power.
But he has made a promise that he will surely have
everybody can make a promise. It's not depend on you to fulfill the promise. I can make a promise to be a better man, and in the next few minutes you see me doing the same thing I did. So it depends on your integrity. Does this current government have integrity to leave power in 2023? I don't think so.
But constitutionally speaking, the constitution allows for 4 years, which in 2 years' time, this administration will run over. Constitutionally, don't you think that we'll have the capacity to affect that in our system?
Are we still using the constitution in Nigeria?
There has been a lot of crises in the... We are still using the constitution.
If you are using the constitution in Nigeria, how could the judiciary go on strike for complete 1 month?
2 months.
2 months in a democracy, in a nation where we have rule of law. Judiciary are on strike for 2 good months, and we claim to have constitution in this country. It's not done. Are we still operating with that constitution? Even the constitution review they are doing, is it coming out in any good form?
The deputy speaker, the deputy Senate president, he said that giving Nigeria a new constitution can never work, according to him. And there has been this imbalance between the legislators and the masses. Some people are saying that our problem is the 1999 constitution.
Yes.
And some people are saying that there is no problem with the constitution, that it's the people, like the president said yesterday, that is the people who are operating under the 1999 constitution are the problem.
Who are who? Who is he talking about? Is it you and I or him?
The president said people. He didn't mention.
I just want to be straight.
Okay.
Is it you and I, or him and his cabinet?
You and I.
No, it can't be you and I.
Okay.
It should be his cabinet, because we are abiding to that rules and regulation.
Okay.
We are following it on daily basis. But them as a government, are they going through it? Are they working in that direction of the constitution? You know how many of our human rights have been subjected to all sorts of things. Right to protest, right to have.
We have 36 states, and many of them will be. They are ending their tenure with the president, and few of them will still have to seek for second term. Has any governor stood out for you in this 6 years or within the 2 years?
I think one or two governors stood out for me. I think Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, he has been the top performer in the last 2 or 3 years. Though with the low IGR generated in that state, he's doing excellently well. And I think our governor here in Lagos has done at least averagely 50% of what he promised to do when he was campaigning. I think I have two or three of them that stood out. But you know, there are some bad eggs in everything. Governor Ben Ayade has been the worst for me. Ben Ayade has been the worst for me. He cries a lot on national TV and nothing has been done.
And he recently defected to the APC because of what you just said. He said he wants to be closer to the center.
To which center? Is Seyi Makinde close to the center for doing something in the States? Is he even close to anybody at the top, in quotes, before he can do anything in the States? So see, when you have something in your arsenal, you will do something. But I think Governor Ben Ayade lacks capacity to do anything in the States.
What of Governor Wike?
Governor Wike, well, is a man of too many words and less action. He talks a lot and less action.
But some people in his state call him Mr. Project.
Though is doing excellently well in terms of infrastructure and road development.
Okay.
Recently, I think inaugurated a construction of one, road from, can't remember the local government, about 2 or 3 of it in this week or last week.
Last week.
Yeah, he's doing excellently well in terms of road consumption and infrastructure development in the state, but he talks too much.
And in the southeast, can you pick any governor from the southeast who has done well?
I'm not sure I can pick anyone.
Okay.
Even the one I think I can pick is not doing what I expect him to do.
And who
Governor Obiano.
Obiano is rounding up.
He
just commissioned an airport.
Don't talk about that airport of a thing. Just let's leave that one behind the screen.
Okay, and in the north, looking at the north, combining north central, northwest. What of Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State?
Babagana Zulum is trying, but you know, when you have this, as they say, water pass Gary, it has been an back and forth issue for him in that stage because of the killings, the insecurity issue in that particular state. If not for that, he could have been a top performer in the state also.
Okay, now we have this problem. Still talking about 2023. The president said last week that if the amendment bill for electoral bill is passed, he will sign it. And there is fear in some areas that this government will not hand over in 2023. So what will that amendment, the electoral bill, what will it bring to the table in Nigeria's democracy.
With all indication and with all hand pointing to the president, do you think this man will sign the electoral bill even if it is passed from the House?
He promised that he will sign.
Like I said earlier, I can promise to do something. But when this thing is being explained to you, you know, our president lacked that understanding of the current situation of Nigeria. He's still working as an analog man. And we are in an era of digital. Somebody will still need to explain deeply what this thing is all about. I'm not sure you understand what he's trying to sign. If he does, I'm not sure he's going to sign it.
Okay. Yes, that's where we'll leave it on this segment. We'll go on this short break. When we'll come back, we'll look at the massive wave of defections. Yes, from Zamfara to Cross River and Ebonyi and the rest of them. And and we look at the opposition. Do we still have opposition in this country? Keep listening to Lagoon Radio. Yes, it's about state of the nation. And Solomon is our guest. And we are doing justice to it. Download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria. Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. We are live on Facebook. We'll be right back after this break.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Someday we would sing like the sun. Oh, Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, say we are, yeah. With the
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Yes, you're still on to Lagoon Radio, State of the Nation, our political program on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Communion Diocese of Lagos. We are transmitting live from the Diocesan Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. Download our app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and of course, we are live there. On Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. Listen to us directly via the link www.lagoonradio.ng. And Anosike Chimezi, I am still here as Adebola Solomon is still here. He's our guest. And we are looking at the race for 2023 elections. Yes, a lot have been said. Now, there have been wave of defections. Just yesterday, on Tuesday, yes, the governor of Zamfara State, Matawale, defected to the ruling All Progressive Congress. And the State Assembly, members of the State Assembly, together with him. Not really all.
All?
Yes, not
even,
all.
Even
The
his deputy is still in
refused.
PDP.
Yes, and this was a man that came on the mandate. We saw what happened during the 2019 election. After they were APC elections were nullified and they came into power. And Wike says something that is all about integrity. And that Matawale said, and you've been repeating that word, one thing is to promise, another thing is to keep to the promise. That Matawale said that he will never ever leave the PDP. And this defection has been on for long. Remember the first time he wanted to defect, the PDP governors went to meet him and the rest of them, the rest was history. And now, he has totally confirmed. We had governor of Cross River, whom you said you are disappointed. The Ebonyi State governor also defected. And two of them, when I look at Ayade and Umahe, their major reason was to be closer to the center. And you mentioned something, Makinde is not close to the top of all. Now, looking at these defections, what does this mean for our democracy?
You see all these governors moving from one party to the other. I think we need to have a strong rules that will limit this cross-carpeting of a thing in this nation. You are on the mandate of a particular political party. Why are you moving? Are you done with the mandate of that current party you came in with? The defection of governor of Ebonyi State and Ben Ayade is just, to me, is just for personal gain. It's not for the state or anything. It's for personal gain. Governor, you might think when they promised him the vice president in 2023 to come to him, that was a major reason why he left the PDP for the APC, which in the next 20 years, it will not come to him. Ben Ayade, he has no genuine reason for leaving. No genuine reason. Close to the center. Which center? Even when you are not close to the center, did you perform? Did you do anything? Nothing. The current governor of Zamfara State that moved from APC, from PDP to APC, for me also, for personal gain. They have nothing whatsoever that the party promised them. Nothing.
Okay, now looking at all these defections, aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid that we are turning to one party system, one party state, or the rest of them? Because if you look at the wave of it, some of the members, yes, Zamfara State senators, yes, defected yesterday on the floor of the assembly, and also Ngoboshi of Delta State also defected on the floor of the assembly. His letter was read on Tuesday, but it was made official yesterday. aren't you afraid that we are heading to one party state?
We are already in one party government in this nation, in the sense that look at the assembly. How many opposition are there? They are not up to 30. So the major people in that house is from one party system. So and they have the upper hand in almost everything they do in that house. Same thing in our dear state here, Lagos State. In the House of Assembly here, we have no opposition. It is full of the same people. So they have the same ideology and the same thinking. So there's nothing that will affect as any other political party challenging them or talking against some of the things they are doing. But it's the same thing. All they want to do is maybe moving from the PDP to the APC will give them the upper hand of coming back in 2023, which is not guaranteed.
Okay, now, like you mentioned that we need to find a law that will restrict all this. And yesterday, PDP, they were furious. They also said that nothing will stop them from reclaiming power in 2023. But meanwhile, they are looking for legal explanations on how to reclaim all these mandates. Is that possible in Nigeria?
Well, it's possible if everything goes right and if the judiciary is independent. Everything is possible. You know how corrupt our judiciary system is currently. It is whatever the presidency wants, it is what they will do. So if they are independent, I'm very sure everything is possible. To reclaim the mandate of those who are defecting to another party, it is very important. It will stop all this defection. Okay, if you defect from APC to PDP or from PDP to APC, you will lose your seat automatically. So it will stop them from moving.
Okay, now let's pause a bit. We'll come back to the defections and the rest of them. Now, looking at the judiciary, I purposely dodged that, and you meant that you just made an allegation that we have a very corrupt judiciary, and over time in years back, yes, recently in few years, we've seen some elections determined. The result of our elections are determined by the judiciary, and the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, said something. He said, until judiciary stop determining the results of the elections, we cannot move forward. Is judiciary supposed to be part of electoral process in Nigeria?
That is what our constitution said. If it is changed, which will be better for us, let the people's mandate and voice be heard. Like now, I'm voting for a particular person, and the person won, and you took him to court, and the judiciary said, no, I overturn it. The mandate I'm giving to that person has been taken away. Same thing happened in Oyo State. If not that, the mandate given to Seyi Makinde was strong enough, and people are on that particular case, it could have been overturned.
Like it happened in Imo State.
Exactly. The Imo State of a thing is just political. We all know that. How can you give the number 4 position of the governor of a state when number 1, number 2, number 3 is still there?
Okay. Judiciary, let's leave that a bit. Now, the APC, yes, like we said, apart from PDP, do we still have a stronger opposition?
No. APGA is not a stronger opposition. AAC is not. Let's start from here. How many seats do APGA have in the upper assembly and the lower assembly? None. YPF, none. AAC, none. AD, none. It's just APC and PDP. Even when what's this man's name? The one on the platform of YPF. Is it YPP? It defected to the other party on the floor of the house.
But at the time, he stopped the defection because in Anambra State now he is the flag bearer of the YPP. Yes, there was a move to defect, but at a long run, the defection was somehow He's now the flag bearer of YPP
Do,
in Anambra State.
do you know what they did behind the closed door to him if he have defected? Do you know the situation of things that make them stop from moving to the party? See, there are some things that is not clear to us. Moving from one party to the other might have so many things behind the scene.
Okay. Okay, now let's look at the PDP as a party. Some people are saying, like after the defection of Matawale, some people are saying that Uche Secondos, the chairman of the PDP, is the major problem of PDP. Some are saying that Nyesom Wike is the sole determinant of what happens in the PDP, and that's why that people still find it easy to leave the party.
Is PDP one political party? I think they have their leaders, but I don't see Wike as the main determinant of whatever happened in the party, and I see their current chairman as a weak person. He's very weak, though he has his name. I think he's from Rivers State.
He's from Rivers State.
He is very weak. See, I see more of Bukola Saraki going for reconciliation, going for talk than their current chairman.
Okay. Now, if despite some agitations from every corner of Nigeria, yes, some people might say, how do we? Because if you listen to the common man, there is inflation. There is, in fact, things are not moving forward. But for our politicians to still find it easy to move to the APC despite all these cries, is there anything special the APC is offering? Is there anything special that is making these politicians to run to the APC till today?
I'm not sure there's anything special they want to offer them, or they plan to, or they propose to offer them, than you coming back into power in the next general election. So, and that is what every one of them is key and looking for. I want to return to power in 2023. And which platform of a political party that will give me that chance, I think, is the ruling party. That is the major reason behind all this defection.
And when we talk about ruling party, in some areas, some people, it's like they are still gaining momentum, and the rest of them. What you saw them clamoring for youth president and the rest of, and I saw a massive seminar last week. Is it a seminar or something in Abuja that it had a large number of people, and you see some saying that the power will move to a youthful president from APC. Do you see that happening?
I'm not sure that can happen in the next general election. And also, who is that youth in quotes that we want to use? Is it governor of Kogi State?
He has been warming up. He
Let
has made it clear that he wants to contest.
Let him continue warming up. Maybe after 90 minutes, we'll bring him in.
Okay, okay. Let's look at zoning formula. There has been this crisis of, and even personally, I think that is one of the problems why APC have not been able to conduct their national congress. Because the zoning formula, Babagana Zulum, the governor of Borno State, he said there was a gentleman agreement that power will return to the south. And on Monday, Nnamdi Kanu was arrested.
Was kidnapped. Let's put it in that quote.
According to news, he was arrested.
Okay,
he was rearrested.
Okay, rearrested. According to the news.
According
to what we know,
okay,
he was kidnapped.
Now, he's agitating for Biafra and the rest of them. Sunday Igboho and his Odua Republic. And the major leaders of Southeast said that they need Igbo presidency come 2023. So, do you believe, some stakeholders say they don't believe in zoning anymore, that is not working for us, but do you still believe in zoning, the presidency?
Zoning, as in, has there been any achievements with it? See, let's leave the issue of zoning to one particular region. Let us provide candidates that will take this nation forward. Either Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, of any tribe, somebody that will take this nation forward. If you continue this, okay, the next election, the next presidency should come from the north or from the east. We are still doing the same thing. Still in the same thing. Let us get somebody who is capable of taking this nation forward. Forget about the zone is coming from. Zoning has killed so many things in this nation. It has hindered us from progressing as a nation. So if you are still going by the route of zoning, we are still doing the same thing.
Okay, and some people, like we said, do you believe, like we've said, this government signed Not Too Young to Run bill, which made, we saw the youngest speaker in the history of Nigeria from Oyo State, 32 years, as at that time. We saw in 2 other states who had youngest members of the assembly, below the age of 35. Now, some people are clamoring for youthful presidents. Yes, we've seen Yahaya Bello warming up. We've seen Kingsley Moghalu and the rest of them.
That one talks a lot.
Do you still believe that the power can move, that the youths are the one that will get this country better? And we've seen the personality of, he has not said anything, but people are urging him to contest, like the former governor of Lagos State, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And looking at his pedigree and the rest of them, do you believe that a youthful president can help us out in this country?
Yes, we can. We can have a youthful president that will help out in this nation. If only what should I use for these people? I can't get an English for them now. But if only the older generation are willing to leave power for the youth. You can still see Atiku still warming up for presidency at 73 years. What does it have to offer us?
Tinubu at 69.
Tinubu is not 69. Let's leave that. Tinubu is about 78 years. What does it have to offer us? I'm not sure they have anything to offer us as at now. Let us try. Okay, we have tried the older generation and it's not working out. Everything is try and error in this country. Let's try a youth as being our president, but not Yaya Bello.
Why not Yaya Bello?
Yaya Bello is still the same thing as the older generation.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Solomon, for coming this morning on the program. We hope to see you when next we call on you.
Yeah, I'm always available at your service.
Okay, that's the size of the package this morning on State of the National Political Program on Lagoon Radio. Remember that you can download the app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and on Instagram, Lagoon Radio NG. The program will come your way again on Thursday, 10 a.m. And yes, we'll be back with another bumper topic. Keep listening to Lagoon Radio and do enjoy a fruitful month. Good morning.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.